announced a lot of different programs today. What's a few things you mentioned U.S. or it sounded like U.S. only at first, and then you mentioned some other regions, but you never really specifically mentioned Canada. Is Canada in with the U.S. on those early launches, or what's the time frame for some of those?
Right. No, and I appreciate that, and I certainly would never lump Canada in with the United States on its own. But what we're really trying to do is we're trying to take these out to market in the right environments. For example, the monthly SaaS, which we're driving into as a pilot, that's going to be dependent on the capabilities of our two distributor partners who we're starting with, because they're developing their monthly billing capabilities at the same time. So we're going to be working with Ingram and Tech, and as they develop, and as I just wanted to confirm their capabilities in Canada, we would be happy to roll this up into Canada as well. I love the Canadian market. It is a very fast-growing market for us, and yet at the same time, it's small enough that we can really innovate and understand very quickly how that innovation is going. So to me, it's kind of the perfect market to work with.
Amongst all the opportunities we've heard about, what do you see as the single biggest opportunity that partners should be aiming that arrow towards right now?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I think from a market perspective, the largest opportunity out there is in alternative delivery models. So as I just mentioned, of course, we announced the pilot of the monthly SaaS program, but we've also announced the managed service provider program. And that opportunity, whether or not you are a true service provider like a Bell Canada, for example, or TELUS, or if you're a partner who wants to provide managed security services, to me, that's a great opportunity. I know my company, we played around with that in the 90s. We had a couple customers who paid us a monthly fee, almost like a retainer. We provided professional services for them. We billed them. We provided a couple products on monthly business, and boy, I love monthly recurring revenue. There's no better way to have forecastable, dependable income on a month-by-month basis.
You mentioned the then and now kind of aspect of managed services. Mm-hmm. Are we far along the track of VARs becoming MSPs or adding managed services to their practices that a McAfee, in your case, obviously has to play the role of educators, or is it well enough understood in the broader channel community that you can just kind of provide the framework, provide the tools, and let it rip?
No, that's a great question. We absolutely need to really drive enablement in this. And it's not just the technical enablement about the products, but it's the management enablement, and it's the selling model. It's that whole process. In fact, one of the things that we loved about MX Logic when we acquired them was they had a very unique go-to-market model, which included combination of joint selling training. So the first couple sales calls that we work on with a particular partner have an MX Logic sales rep, so a McAfee monthly SaaS sales rep, a channel CAM, so a channel person, and then of course the sales rep from the partner. And that way the partner learns in a real life opportunity exactly how to sell it. It is a different sales model. Obviously, it's a different implementation and management model. So we are very committed to working jointly to make sure those partners who are interested are there and ready to service their customers.
Last year at this event, I had an interesting conversation. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the name, but a member of your go-to-market team about SaaS and managed security. Mm-hmm. And his feeling at the time was that North American partners in general, and obviously in this kind of question, there's always some who are overachieving and some who are underachieving. But as a general level set, he thought that North American partners were a little bit behind in terms of managed service and SaaS compared to their peers elsewhere in the world. Is that still something you're seeing, or is that playing field level?
Well, I think they're catching up, partly because there's a sophistication and a maturity in the security market in the U.S., particularly in the channel. When I look at our channel community around the world, our U.S. channel is advanced in terms of being able to sell products, sell technology, and continuing to learn how to sell solutions. So I think because they've been so focused on that and successful in that area, they haven't invested as much in these new alternative delivery models. In some of the other countries, both, the customer base is less technologically proficient. So the partner not only has the opportunity, but the requirement to go in and provide those additional services. So I think today, if you pick the right market, and I think SMB and commercial for us is key to that, you have a huge opportunity to help them understand how you can increase their security readiness while at the same time not coming up with huge upfront costs or needing to bring on a lot of technically trained individuals to try and get out there and manage this. Security is way too complex for that for most size organizations.
Ask you to crystal ball here a little bit,
Oh,
but
God.
where do you see the balance in the short term and then even in the long term, if you're feeling really brave about it, between sort of the traditional product resale project business and the SaaS and managed market in your channel?
Boy, that's one that's hard to predict. Although I think certainly our traditional solutions, hardware and software, are going to continue to grow. We've seen very rapid growth, and the overall security market is growing very quickly as well. Particularly now that we've announced the first set of products based on the Intel McAfee DeepSafe technology. Those will be key to continuing to energize our customers. But I don't think we're going to be cannibalizing revenue by adding monthly service provider and SaaS. Instead, we're going to be growing the revenue. So we will continue to grow the SaaS revenue and the service provider revenue while at the same time growing the technology and the kind of that traditional resale model as well. I think they're both going to grow, and certainly for the next few years. At the end of the day, the SaaS model may grow faster because it's a new model addressing different requirements by our customers, but they're both great places to be.
You bring up DeepSafe, and one of the comments Renee made yesterday was along the lines of one of the things that attracted Intel to McAfee, or that she noticed certainly, was that there wasn't much crossover in the partner base. Mm-hmm. As the hardware and software becomes more integrated, is it going to be more important for McAfee partners to have a deeper understanding of Intel and vice versa?
I don't think so for a long time. Certainly if a McAfee partner wants to get involved in the Intel channel, that's a great opportunity. It's a very strong channel. Intel is absolutely committed to partnering as much as we are at McAfee. As Renee said yesterday, more than 30% of their business goes to the channel, which is incredible when you think about their numbers. But at the same time, it is a very different channel, and it's a very different selling model. You're going to be able to take our Deep Command and our Deep Defender products to market without needing to know the inner workings of the chip. What's most important about that is following our deployment guides, of course, but then understanding how to sell that to a customer, how to explain to the customer why that is really important. We'll be able to do that. We'll be providing those enablement tools, again, without making everybody rocket scientists.
What is the roadmap for getting those two DeepSafe products into a broader channel community? And can you explain again sort of the rationale for holding them back a little bit at first?
So I hate the idea of restricting products in general. I think the more people who can sell it, the better. But there's a very clear reason to have some type of product restrictions or slow roll of product go to market, and that really is around the technical complexity of the product. So rather than just talking about adding another application on top of the operating system, not that that's not important, but it's a much simpler model for everybody to understand. With Deep Defender, we're now actually working within the compute stack. We've tested the products, of course, and we've done a lot of R&D around that. But we want to roll those out carefully and with a lot of engagement by McAfee until both the partners and the McAfee team has some wins under their belt and understands all the different aspects. Now, Deep Command, which is the enhancement to EPO, our management platform, allowing us to more carefully control the PC in terms of turning it on, turning it off, updating it, etc. That will be a much more open go-to-market model. It's already on our price list. We will continue to stay engaged, but that's on every deal, at least initially, but that's primarily around to support and protect our customers' incumbency. We want to make sure that if you're the incumbent partner working on the servers and the endpoints, we work with you for that deal. Now, as we look through 2012, Robert, I expect that to open up, and it'll be a gradual opening as we take that to market. That's pretty typical with most brand new products.